New York NAACP investigators working in South Carolina to discover clues leading to the policeman responsible for the savage attack and blinding of Issac Woodard, a veteran. Announced August 15 the discovery of an eyewitness to the February 12 assault. The witness, also a veteran, had remained silent for fear of retaliatory action against himself, it was said. When found, however, the veteran readily supplied investigators with the information he possessed and signed an affidavit when promised NAACP protection. Clears up controversy. In his affidavit, the eyewitness clears up a controversy which reached a dramatic climax recently when Orson Welles, radio commentator and actor, answered the mayor of Aiken, South Carolina, who demanded a retraction of Woodard's charge that the brutal attack had occurred in that city. Welles, in his regular Sunday afternoon network broadcast, had stated that Woodard, a man who had served his country during the war, contended that he'd been attacked and blinded in Aiken, South Carolina. The burden of proof lies with you, Mr. Mayor, said Welles. You should have addressed your demands for a retraction to SGT Issac Woodard. But it would have to be sent in Braille, for Issac Woodard has no eyes. Was told it was Aiken. Woodard, in explaining his reasons for naming Aiken as the scene of his horrifying experience, said, to the best of my knowledge, I was attacked in Aiken, South Carolina. The policeman, after he put me in a car to take me to the hospital, answered me when I asked him where I was. He told me we were in Aiken, South Carolina. When we got to the hospital, the police told the doctor that he was from Aiken, South Carolina. A few days later, a couple of guys came into the ward inquiring about the soldier who got beat up in Aiken. They were interested because they were from Aiken themselves. Happened few miles away. According to the story told by the eyewitness, the attack actually occurred in Batesburg, a few miles from Aiken. The bus operator came into the bus with 3 police officers and pointed to Issac Woodard, he says. One of the policemen came into the back of the bus and took Woodard out. When they got him outside, one of the policemen took out a blackjack and smashed Woodard across the head. Then they carried him down the street. That is the last I saw of him. Fund over $2,000. Meanwhile, contributions to the Issac Woodard Trust Fund total $2,118.89, of which $264 was sent in by readers of the newspaper PM. A letter from one PM contributor is indicative of the feeling of many. Arthur S. Crivel, of Columbia, wrote, it is with shame and anger and immense feeling of ineptitude that I send this contribution to the Issac Woodard Fund. As in the past, the decent but passive citizen must salve his conscience. But will there be more funds? Will there be other Issac Woodards? Will our self-styled liberal news papers again rage and indict, and will the rest of us once more shrug our shoulders in unhappy resignation and reach into our pocketbooks for the only balm we have to offer? South Carolina cop admits blinding New York vet. Batesburg, South Carolina Police Chief M.L. Shull of this city on Saturday admitted that he struck the blow which gouged the eyes of Issac Woodard Jr., New York war veteran, last February 12. Corroborating a report from the 7th Army Provost Marshal's office in Atlanta, the police chief said he was called to a bus to arrest Woodward because he was disorderly and arrested him for drunkenness. Assault described, I hit him across the front of the head, Shull said, after he attempted to take away my blackjack. I grabbed it away from him and cracked him across the head. He added that the blow may have landed in the veteran's eye, or eyes, which he said were swollen the next day when Woodward was sentenced to 30 days or a fine of $50 by Mayor H. E. U. Quarles in Recorder's Court. Woodard paid the fine. The police chief said the veteran later became nauseated and complained about his stomach and eyes, and when a doctor suggested that he be taken to the Veterans Hospital at Columbia, Shull drove him there. By that time, the officer further admitted, both Woodward's eyes were swollen shut.